Hello everyone, Silent here, and welcome back to another episode of Bugrock of the Week. Unfortunately, throughout your time playing Minecraft, you have likely experienced world corruption in some form or another. Maybe your world just pops up a message saying, hey, I'm corrupted, and you can't load it. Maybe some of your chunks just get deleted all the way down to the void, and there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe your entire super flat world just completely corrupts and becomes really strange with some weird blocks. Or you might find a chunk glitch monolith in your world as well. However, what I'm going to show you in today's episode is probably the most interesting form of world corruption that I've seen on the Bedrock edition, and this is what I call a stone generation world. Basically, the entirety of the overworld can turn into just stone, structures can still generate naturally, and all of the stone is in like the same kind of shape that you would expect the terrain to be in normally. It is honestly a really strange thing, and we're going to take a deep dive look at this kind of bug in today's video. So right off the bat, there is a couple of things that we know about this bug. First of all, it is a very rare bug. It does not happen that often. However, it does seem to be having a resurgence in the 1.16 update. And also, this only seems to affect Bedrock dedicated servers. So as you can see here, we have some very strange terrain generation. It might not be much to look at, but it's actually really fascinating once you start to get into it. So I've actually known about this type of world corruption since late October of 2019, and that is what most of the footage in today's video is from. Thank you very much to RKT Razor for showing me this world way back then. This happened to his server, and it happened to all of the terrain that had already generated. So like you could just have like a normal world, and then you log in one day and all of your world is just stone. That's exactly what happened to him and his friends on their server. It is a very strange bug, and unfortunately they had to pretty much completely restart their world. Now, the reason why I'm making a video about this now is because of this bug actually just happened to our Whispercraft Bedrock Edition server. So now I actually have a world to download and play with this and mess around with it and open it with World Edit and do all of the things, and I can also provide a world download of this bug to you guys as well so that you can check it out in your worlds. So it has taken basically an entire year for this bug to resurface and for me to be able to do anything with it, but it is so fascinating. I really love just cruising around these worlds and just seeing what everything looks like when this type of corruption happens to it. So there's two different ways that this bug can affect your world. It can either affect newly generated chunks, so when you go off and explore a new area, those chunks can generate in this kind of stone generation area. However, this can also affect previously generated areas of your world. So for example, this little biome over here with the grass and the dirt and, you know, all of the normal terrain generation, this could be affected by the bug and all of it could be turned into stone, for example, and that's pretty much exactly what happened to RKT and his group of friends on their server, which is really unfortunate. If you are playing on a Bedrock dedicated server, like from CubedHost for example, or maybe you're self-hosting and you do have this world corruption happen to you, this is the series of events that you need to do to fix this bug and prevent it from happening to your, existing server. Also, of course, make sure to download the world and trim any affected areas using a world edit. That way you don't have a bunch of random stone floating around, because that is no fun looking. And this little series of events is found out by James Alien Zero Cruel. So yeah, thank you very much, James, for figuring out how to fix this stuff quickly and easily. Probably the first thing that you'll notice about this terrain generation corruption is that all of the ocean biomes actually keep their same like shapes and heights and everything, except that they're generated like 30 to 40 blocks higher than they should be. So if this was on the bottom of the ocean and all made out of gravel, you wouldn't really suspect anything. It's got the same kind of heights to it. It basically just looks like the bottom of the ocean, but it's far, far above the ocean, as you can see there. So another thing that you'll notice is that structures generate really frequently. So we have like 3 shipwrecks within about 150 200 blocks. As you can see, it's pretty frequent. Now, areas that aren't ocean biomes actually generate pretty much how they should if they're not, corrupted. As you can see with this little example right here, this side of the mountain actually generated in pretty much exactly the same shape it would have if it's generated normally. So it meets up with all of these bits which aren't corrupted, and it's really fascinating. It keeps its original shape that it should. So if this bug happens to your world, you'll have all the same mountains and valleys and hills and lakes and rivers, all of the same lava lakes, all of the same ore deposits, but everything is going to be made out of stone. So something that we're going to do real quick is compare this corrupted world to a freshly generated world with the exact same coordinates and the exact same seed. So as you can see, the majority of this area is going to be an ocean biome. We have shipwrecks, we got the ruined portals, more shipwrecks in all of the places. Those are actually ruined things. I don't know what they're not ruined portals. This right here, I believe, is actually a lake, however, because the water is at the correct level. You can see all of the, floor, basically, that's at the correct level. So let's go ahead and compare this to a freshly generated copy of the same exact world. Nope, definitely just an ocean on the normal copy of the world. As you can see, everything is ocean for miles and miles and miles and miles. However, the structures do actually line up. So on the corrupted world, there's a little ruined thingy McBob, and then on this world, there's also a little ruined thingy McBob down here. So structures do line up. However, terrain definitely does not. So here you can see what the world looks like in World Edit, and as you can see, every freshly generated chunk in the world after we trimmed it has been turned to this kind of stone gen. So this only really happens around the edges because that's where we prune this world, but on basically every single edge of the world where people freshly explored, it's all stone generation. And this right here is the mining mesa, and we deleted the entire thing. So when people went back over there, that turned into stone gen as well. And we can kind of zoom in on some of these things. You'll see that there's things like the ruined city thingies, there's the shipwrecks, there's all the lakes and rivers and all the normal stuff that you would typically expect to be where it is. However, it's completely stone gen. Over in this little one right here, you can see that there's actually a village over there, so that's kind of cool to see from the world map. And if you want to explore this world yourself, I will have a world download for it in the description of the video. I am going to delete the majority of it because, this is our public fan server, and it's not ready for a download. We only do downloads of this at the end of the season, so I'm going to delete everything important but leave all of these stone generation areas. Okay, so here's a pretty good example of it blending with existing terrain. As you can see, it basically shapes directly to it, and it has the same kind of shape as it would normally. So the bottom of this lake right here is, same height as it would normally be, and it just kind of blends in perfectly. I also want to check this with World Edit and see what biomes these areas have. I have a suspicion that they might not have a biome, although this Plains village would probably beg to differ. But yeah, it's just a very strange thing. I love it so much. World corruption, especially in this kind of form, is just so fascinating to me. It gives you little insights into the workings of a Bedrock edition. So here we are back in World Edit, and you can see that it's just on the standard block view, so it shows you whatever block is on the surface. And of course, here is the dividing line down the center, and everything to the left of that is the corrupted chunks, and everything to the right of it is normal. If we switch this over to the biome view, you'll notice something rather interesting. It does actually have biomes in the corrupted areas, but you can see a clear dividing line between the two areas. On the right, of course, is the more normal biomes with more complicated biomes, and on the left is a very basic kind of shadow of what the biomes should be. So if we just click on any random chunk over here, for example, and then hit the Edit Biomes button, you'll see that it's just plain 00 ocean biome. There's no complicatedness to it. It's not like warm ocean, deep ocean, cold ocean. It's just straight up the regular plain old ocean biome. Same goes for this plains area. It's just straight up all plains biome. Now, something that is a little bit more fascinating is that areas over here have the more complicated biomes. If we click on this one and hit edit biomes, you'll see that we have 2A and 2B, and that is actually a different type of ocean. If we scroll down over here, you'll see that that is the cold ocean and the deep warm ocean. And the fun thing about that is that actually pokes through the terrain generation. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of water in this area right where the more complicated ocean biomes is, which is a little bit strange. I don't know if that's coincidence or if that's actually got something to do with the corruption. I don't know, but it's fun to look at. So what do you think about this type of world corruption? Let me know in the comment section down below. I really am fascinated and want to hear what you guys think about this. I think it's pretty cool. I've never quite seen anything like it. Also, if you've ever experienced this in your Minecraft worlds, please do let me know down below as well. I think it is a very rare bug to have happen. However, with the 1.16 update, this may have happened to your Bedrock dedicated server, and you might want to tell us about it. So let us know about it in the comment section down below. But if you did enjoy today's episode of Bugrock, then please do leave a like on the video. It significantly helps out the video and the channel a ton. If you're new here, then make sure to subscribe so you catch future videos like this on the channel. And I'll see you all down in the comment section and in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. And then there was silence.